Hey guys, welcome back to the closet. Welcome back to the Christopher Moon channel. Welcome back to today's topic, which is your DUI and your jail sentence. I want to talk about it. I actually want to talk about mine, but I'd like to just run through it again. You know, it's the end of the holiday season. We got New Year's coming up. You know, and on that note too, you know, I've been, busy for a minute. But, I hope everybody had a really nice holiday season. Whatever you believe, whatever, I hope it was a good season for you this winter solstice. I hope you and your family and friends had a good time. I did, me and my family and friends. But back to it. First off, so here in Colorado, let's look at it this way. Once you get a DUI, let's say 1, 2, 3, I used to think that was the point once it became a felony. I was wrong. It's 4 in Colorado. So once you get that number 4, that's a felony, and that's usually a bigger ticket, and that's a recidivism thing. That's where you just can't understand that drinking and driving, like some of us, it takes longer. I had 2 DUIs. It took me a little bit longer to realize that this plus this was causing me all the problems in the world, even though I wanted to blame them on everybody else, but doesn't matter. That was a different guy. So once you get like a felony or a ticket or something aggravated, something where you get a lot of time to serve, a lot of time in prison, a lot of time in jail. If it goes over a year, in time you need to serve, that's once it goes to a prison. That's once you go to a prison. Now that's the stuff that, for all intensive purposes, once we see a movie and we see the scary stuff, once we're watching Oz on HBO way back in the day, that's prison. That's going to be the stuff where we have all these crazy thoughts built up about how scary and horrible and whatever it's going to be. Now, the difference between jail and prison is the time. And it's also, the types of individuals that you're going to bump into in there. Now, once I was in, I had noticed, and this is kind of like, it's just kind of like, the laws and the facts of the jail. But what I had noticed was that it was a lot of people waiting for court. It was a lot of people waiting for their day in court. I'm checking in, I'm doing my stuff, I'm doing my time. But a lot of people were there just chilling out, waiting, nervous, worried for their court date. And it was usually something bigger than a DUI. It could be blue collar crimes. It could be lots of drugs. It was a lot of drugs type of stuff up in there. But you're looking at people that have either under a year to serve. So they're not going to go to prison with the big guys. They're going to stay in jail, as boring as it is, and just wait it out, because that's what you got to do. Then there are some bigger dudes in there, some scarier guys that have come from prison. They have spent, a long sentence in prison. But they were good, they got the good behavior, they got whatever, and this is kind of like their little stepping stone to get out. And they'll come in and maybe they got some more hearings that they need to go through. Maybe they got something going on, but they don't want to mess that up. They don't want to mess it up. So they're not going to be the same person they were once they were in prison for the long haul, They're going to be a little toned down because they're they can see it. They can smell the fresh air. They can feel that wind blowing once the doors open and close out there. They can taste that freedom, and I don't think they want to mess that up, And then there's just like a bunch of people coming in and out. I was in a program, the work release program, where I'd come in every weekend. You know, they got plenty of programs like that. They got programs, I don't know what they are anymore, but they got programs where it's kind of a busy place. They got work release where you go to work for the day and then you come back in the afternoon and you just sleep at jail, like free rent. But you got to pay for it. It's not free. You know, if you're not just sitting in there doing your time, you're going to pay. Ooh, I paid. You're going to pay. You might get one of those little ankle monitor on your foot. You might get, who knows? You got to talk to the DA, you got to talk to the judge. If you have a lawyer, have the lawyer figure out all this stuff, what the path of least resistance for you would be. But it's not as bad, it's not as scary as it seems. You know, I remember back once I got my second one, you know. I was a different person. I was younger. I was more hard-headed, you know. I guess the skull softens with age, but I was very hard-headed, and I was worried, like I was scared, like I did not want to go in there. Everything I looked up on the internet, everything I looked up on the phone, everything I was looking up was giving me these scary images, like this jail stuff, like this is going to be the end of me. This is somebody in there is going to do something to me, you know, and that's what everybody thinks, and it's really not that way. You know, once I went in, I wanted to show you. I found this. That's what kind of prompted me into this. But I was a different dude back then. I had shaved my head. I didn't want any hair. I didn't want to do anything that looked like a lady, you know. Like I was just, I didn't have all the camouflage on my skin that I have now. Like I was a different, younger dude, and I was a scared guy, and I was like, what, this says 165 pounds. But check this out. I shaved my hair. Like, if you can see this, I taped everything up so you don't know, yeah, whatever. But yeah, that's what I was at the time that I went in. That was the kid that went in and was dealing with all this stuff. And I was scared to death. Like, I really was. I was worried. I was, you know, every night I was just laying there, like, praying to God, just strike me down. Like, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with it. And that's how I felt. You know, that's really how I felt. And I was so worried. I was so scared. And then, you know, once you go in and you do it, you know, it's not that bad. It's not that scary. Everything that I looked up on the internet, everything that I was looking on the phone, like it was just a bunch of fear porn. I went in, it was like an open air kind of setup. You ever seen like those 90-day or 60 days in or whatever it is, where they take the contestants and they put them on that show, and it's like just a big lunchroom with 2 levels of you know, cells, bathrooms and whatnot. That's what it was like for me. It was like you go in there, but we didn't have no doors. We didn't have no cell doors or anything. We had cells, and there was 4 bunks per unit. I was in a unit with one other dude, and he was like a younger guy than me, and I was young at the time. He was a little bit younger, and he was in there for selling like a ton of ecstasy pills, moving some weight, you know. He was moving some weight, this younger dude. He was like a rave guy, but he was a nice guy. Like, we would talk. He'd tell me a bunch of crazy stories. I'd tell him a bunch of stuff, you know, and then yeah, that was it. Like, we didn't become buddies or friends or anything, but we were friendly. I'll tell you that. You want to be friendly with people. You don't want to be rude. You don't want to be tough. You don't want to be whatever. Just be yourself. Be normal. Be respectful. That is what I would say. If I could give anybody any advice, just be respectful. Because once you respect Sometimes you might not get it back, but they'll respect that you're respecting. And then if you don't get it back, that's just something else, you know, you got to deal with or not. But in this situation, in this jail situation, you know, there's guys that have probably been in and out a lot, and they might want to play around and mess with you. I don't necessarily think that they're going to mess up their you know, whatever they got going for them in that place to just pick on you, you know, to you know, they're so hard up that they want to get you. I don't think that's not going to happen. That's bullshit. That's that Hollywood bullshit. So don't fall down the Hollywood bullshit hole, because it's just a toilet, you know. You'll get caught up in the current, and you'll be in a low place thinking some scary, crazy stuff that it's not going to benefit you. It's just going to make you feel more and more and more and more crazy. Not necessary, guys, not necessary. But, you know, just be respectful, be in there. Like, we had a little book cart. I read some ripped up cover, like Summer of the Monkeys or something, like it was this like children's book kind of thing. But there was all kinds of little weird books, and you can just get in there and you know, just get a book. You know, it's not as fun. You know, you could go out to the common area too and watch you know, PBS. Sports aren't allowed, like maybe some news, maybe, you know, whatever. But, you know, I found that was another area, you know, where people wanted to, you know, have some issues, or that was an area where people could have issues, because we had it to where one dude was able to have the remote. They'd get the remote from the guard and change the stations. But, you know, out of a room of like, you know, 30 to 50 people, not everybody has the same tastes in what they want to watch, you know? So that's why I enjoyed having the book, you know, doing some push-ups in your cell, doing whatever. And that's the other thing with jail. Like, it is just that big-ass room. It is just that room. You're going to help clean. You're going to help stack chairs. You know, it's just one big room. So it's not the scary thing that you have in your mind about prison, where the roll call, doors go up in the morning, you step out, and you know, you got a job, you got stuff to do all day. Like, it's not that place. You don't go for breakfast, lunch, and dinner to the mess. You don't do any of that. In jail, you stay put in your little place, and your meals are brought to you. Everything's brought to that area. That's it. You know, it's not what you're thinking it is. It's not as bad as you're thinking it is. Is it fun? Hell no. Is it the Ritz? Nah. Is the food good? No. They had the worst coffee I ever tasted. You're not allowed to have caffeine in there. So I'd have this coffee every morning that tasted like they had ground up driftwood and put it in a dirty sock and just put hot water on it. And that was coffee. You know, it was terrible. But it was something. You get a bologna sandwich with a packet of mustard. Sometimes there's a packet of mayonnaise, but it would be 2 pieces of like the crappiest white bread you ever seen. One little thin slice, the thin slice of bologna, and an apple. Sometimes there's a cookie, or sometimes there wasn't an apple or a cookie, and there was a bag of like Fritos or something, you know? So you ain't gonna be eating too good. Everything's gonna be, you know, kind of crappy. But it's not crappy the way you're thinking it is. You know, it's gonna be crappy in the ways that I'm stuck here. I gotta pay my debt back to society. I gotta sit here and endure. And that's what you're doing. You're sitting there, you're paying your debt back to society, and you're enduring the punishment, because it's not, it's not, we're not doing this for nothing. We're doing this because we're paying our penance for committing a crime, you know? We know we shouldn't have been driving drunk. They know that. And we gotta have some consequence to know that, you know, this sucks. And it's gonna continue to suck. And then it's really gonna suck if I continue down this path. So they're giving us chances. And if it's your first time going in, if it's your first time getting a little taste of that jail, it's supposed to suck. It's supposed to be bitter and leave a little taste that you don't like, so you don't go back, you know? And I know alcohol's a hard thing to put down. I know weed is a hard thing to put down. I know all these things are hard to put down, but you just really gotta realize that, like, in today's day and age, we gotta do better. We've gotta be better. We've gotta do Ubers, Lyfts, call friends, call family, go someplace within walking distance. Like, there's so much stuff that we need to do, and do a self-assessment and do a little bit differently, because that little taste that we're getting, you don't want to turn it into a full course meal. You don't want to turn it into the meal you're going to eat for the rest of, you know, the foreseeable future. It ain't worth it. You know, it is not worth it. No drink, no drug, no nothing. And it's sad, you know, it's sad to me. It really is. Not as sad as the people out on the streets dying, you know, over this stuff. But it's equally as sad because, you know, you're dying both ways. But sometimes, just sometimes, these little speed bumps in life, these little jail stints, these little tickets, these court dates that we get, sometimes it's enough to jolt us back into our senses, to jolt us back and say, you know what, is it worth it? Is it really worth it? And, you know, sometimes from that point, everything gets better. Everything gets better. Hey, but I don't know, that's a journey we all have to take. That's a journey that, you know, we're all on. And I hope you get through it, and I hope you see the blue skies behind the gray. Because if you're in that position, it really is terrifying. But just know, good days are on the other side of this. There's a lot of good days, there's a lot of laughs, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of everything you're looking for. None of this scary stuff that they're talking about on the internet, so don't worry about it. Just do your best, do what you know is right, and it's gonna work out. Hey, but that's all I got. I hope you guys have a wonderful, safe, fun new year. I will be staying in and relaxing. I don't care about midnight or the ball dropping. I don't even think I could stay up that late anymore. But anyway, I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful night.